In this week's episode of Scammers Busted, 3 fraudsters were made to face the consequences of their dubious actions. From romance scams to massive BEC schemes, these criminals deceived countless victims, leaving a trail of heartbreaks and anguish. But what happens next is intriguing, as authorities close in. Babatunde Francis Ayeni, a Nigerian based in the UK, have been jailed for being the mastermind of a business email compromise scheme that stole millions from victims across the US. Babatunde, a 33-year-old man, carried out this grievous scam with his criminal partners Fejishayo Ogunsowo and Yusuf Lasisi, who were based in Nigeria and the UAE. Together, these men wreaked havoc on real estate companies in the United States. How did the scam work? Their tactics was straightforward yet highly effective. The group crafted phishing emails containing malicious links and attachments. Once the unfortunate real estate agents clicked on these links, Babatunde would gain access into the agent's login credentials. This allowed him to monitor ongoing transactions within the compromised email accounts. He would remain hidden in this account, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The minute Babatunde received a particular message indicating that their victim, a home buyer, was about to make a payment, the group would take advantage of this and contact the buyer directly, impersonating the legitimate real estate agents. In these messages, they will provide the buyer with fake wire transfer instructions, diverting the payments into accounts that they controlled. In total, more than 400 people fell victim to this scam. Out of this, 231 of them lost all their entire life savings. The overall loss was about $20 million, leaving many victims devastated. After the funds landed in the scammers' account, they quickly converted the money into cryptocurrency. They used Coinbase to purchase Bitcoin, which was then split across 3 separate addresses. Eventually, Babatunde Francis Ayeni was captured in the UK and extradited to the US. He was sentenced to 10 years in prison for his crimes. His partners Ogunsowo and Lasisi remain at large. Reports reveal that Ogunsowo was last tracked in Dubai, spending over $40,000 on luxury items at a Louis Vuitton store. Their whereabouts remain unknown, but the 2 men can be rest assured that the US authorities are putting in all their resources to track and arrest them. Tell me, do you think Babatunde's partner Ogunsowo and Lasisi will eventually be caught? Meanwhile, in Texas, the newly elected Anambra local government chairman in Nigeria have been arrested for fraud. 40-year-old Franklin Ikechukwu Wandialo traveled from Nigeria to the United States, maybe for business or for pleasure. No one knows for sure, but unbeknownst to Franklin, he had an arrest warrant waiting for him. As he arrived at Texas airport, he was immediately arrested by US authorities. But what was his crime? Franklin was the alleged mastermind of a romance scam that stole millions from US citizens. Apparently, Franklin's schemes began years ago when he created fake profiles on various online dating sites like Match and Zoosk. He used these fake accounts to lure unsuspecting victims who were in search for love. His profile pictures were very attractive and his backstory was very compelling too. Franklin posed as a soldier stationed overseas, same storyline thousands of other scammers use. Under the guise of love and companionship, Franklin played on his victims' emotions, telling them elaborate stories about family tragedies and pressing financial emergencies. In one particular devastating case, he convinced the victim to send over $2.4 million. The victim thought she was helping her loved one out of a tight situation. In reality, she was funding a lie. And he didn't stop there. Franklin was a master manipulator, getting another victim to transfer $330,000 by claiming it was needed to manage his deceased father's estate. Yet another victim fell for his investment scheme, putting $270,000 into a cryptocurrency account Franklin controlled, believing she was building her financial freedom. In total, he defrauded victims out of more than $3.3 million. Now, Franklin Ikechukwu Wandialo faces 14 counts of wire fraud. If convicted, he could serve up to 20 years in prison for each count, marking a decisive end to his romance scams. Please don't be carried away by flashy lifestyles of people you know nothing about how they made their money. Meet Oludayo Kolawole John Adeagbo, also known as John Edwards or John Dayo. This 45-year-old dual citizen of Nigeria and the United Kingdom was just recently sentenced in the US for his fraudulent activities. Oludayo was the mastermind of yet another business email compromise scheme that targeted businesses across the United States. From Texas to North Carolina, Oludayo and his team preyed on institutions like universities, construction companies, and even local government entities. I am sure by now you know what a BEC scam is, but let me quickly explain. This is a type of scam where a criminal gains access to a legitimate email account or creates a nearly identical version of it. With this account, the criminal sent convincing emails to businesses. In Oludayo's case, his team impersonated legitimate companies, tricking victims into sending millions of dollars to accounts controlled by the criminals. In 2016, Oludayo and his criminal friends focused on a North Carolina university that was planning a major construction project. Posing as employees of the legitimate construction company, they instructed the university to transfer $1.9 million to an account they controlled. Once the money landed, they quickly moved it through multiple accounts to conceal their tracks. Oludayo's team wasn't done. In Texas, they targeted other local government entities, construction companies, and a college in Houston. Using similar tactics, they attempted to siphon off $3 million through fake emails and manipulated wire transfers. After years of investigation, the FBI, along with the US authorities and the UK government, finally tracked down Oludayo. He was arrested in the UK and extradited to the US in August 2022. Facing overwhelming evidence, Oludayo Kolawole pled guilty to wire fraud and conspiracy to commit wire fraud. He was sentenced to 7 years in prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release and over $940,000 in restitution. And that's it, guys. A sober reminder of the devastating impact online scams can have on innocent people whose only crime was trusting the wrong persons. On the bright side, justice prevailed this time, although some of the victims of these stories haven't still recovered from their losses. Tell me, what do you think? Should governments provide more resources to help scam victims recover their money, or are the victims responsible for their actions and should have known better? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more true crime stories. Remember, crime doesn't pay. Stay safe.